recording studios. There are two of us, obviously. So happy to be here. We will be here every week at this evening time on Wednesdays, and also intermittently in between because that's just how we do spontaneous and scheduled. A little bit of both. My name is Diana D'Amato. I'm a longtime yoga teacher, meditation teacher, Pilates teacher, breath work teacher. I could do it all. And I love movement and and the joy and the healing that comes from movement modalities. And I'm just always upping my credentials and doing all the things. I'm also a serial entrepreneur, as we like to say, when we just keep on thinking of businesses. Oh, that's like a hobby for me. Oh, make this a business. And making something out of nothing is one of my best and worst qualities. I am also a divorcee, as we say. I guess that's a word borrowed from probably the French. A divorcee, and recovering from that whole process. I'm also a recovering trad wife. Now
What?
kind of doing my thing. Oh yeah. I always have lots to talk about and no filter. So I'm here as part of this podcast where we talk about grief. Believe it or not, as much as we've laughed and smiled, you have to grab onto that joy to get you through the long term grief sometimes. So Steve and I are both pretty joyful people, you would think, but it's because we have depth of feeling because we've sort of felt it all. And on this podcast, what we hope to do is reframe how you think about what you're going through, and make it, more of like, okay, yeah, this thing ended. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a marriage, maybe it's some part of yourself that you've let go of, but that was a success as long as we're learning from it, as long as we're, growing. So that is my joy to be here to talk about with my dear friend.
Peace, Diana. So happy to be in conversations with you. Peace to all of our listeners and viewers. My name is Stephen J. Bryce. I am a liberator, an entrepreneur, father, and friend, and I share the title of divorcee. I've never heard that term before, but shout out to, you said the French?
The
Shout out to
French.
them.
Oui, oui.
Yeah. I'm always delighted to be in conversations with you. And just to give folks just some context to this, me and Dee, when we talk, it's just always spicy, it's exciting, it's real, it's authentic. And we just thought that bringing our conversations to the public might be helpful to as many people as possible. And so that's why we're here. We want to hear from you, chime in the chat, ask us questions, subscribe, donate, and all that. And we'll have a good time, talking about divorce, separation, relationships, love, controversial things, you name it. It's going to be an exciting time.
Yes, the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows, as I always say, that we're here in this body on this planet to experience. We get them all. You don't just get joys, and hopefully you don't just get sorrows. But
For sure.
that's the thing. And I really think it's having that depth of feeling that, if you can get really sad, take comfort in the fact that that means you're able to feel, and that means
Mm.
you could feel really good too. Yeah, yeah. So, some people just can't emote at all. And I was also raised on divorce, I gotta say. So yes, I, went through my own divorce, and would dare say it is ongoing. It has not ended, even though the ink went on the paper and all that jazz. It's still a process. And I also was raised in a house where there were sort of a revolving door of people coming in and out. So I had several stepmothers. My dad was married a total of 5 times. So in some ways, am an unofficial expert on the process because I've been on so many sides of it. I've been the little kid in it.
Mm.
I've been the adult kid in it. I've been then the wife and the ex-wife in it, and I'm in a relationship now where my partner has kids, too. So now I'm on that side of it as well. So I think our experiences are our curriculum. It's like your life curriculum, and that
Mm.
is mine. Hmm.
Ooh, my teacher's dropping gems. I hope y'all catching it. Wow, my life experiences is my curriculum for life.
Right, that's
Dang.
how we learn. So, and you too, Stephen, you have a real expertise as well based on the curriculum life assigned to you. You could tell us
For
a little bit
sure, for
about that.
sure.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my journey started in New York, Brooklyn. Was born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. Born to Haitian parents. I think they've been married for 43 years. Shout outs to my parents. They stuck it out, right? Even though they wanted to quit, I'm sure plenty of times. And my dad won't admit it, but he did come up to me when I was a teenager and said the only reason why he's still married is because of his children. He denies it, but I remember vividly because I remember walking away from him, asking, thinking to myself, "Why are you telling me this?" Like I don't think he's supposed to be telling me this. I hope he's not listening. I hope mom's not listening because I don't know how mom's gonna
Yeah, it's
respond
like
to all of that.
I'm glad we're close enough. I'm glad we have a tight relationship. Like you feel like you can tell me things, but whoa, like hold on, I am still your kid here, right? I
Right,
know.
right.
I think I do that with my kids sometimes too. It's so you just think and I have a very clear mother-child relationship with my kid. Where it's really important to me that yes, we're friends, I guess, in a way, but like that we have a mother child, a parent child relationship, I think is so important, for a kid to know that that person cares enough to step into that parent role, even if it's a little uncomfortable sometimes,
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure.
yeah. So, and I mean, there was a curriculum there though for you too. It was, your parent telling you this thing, and so you could directly experience it because we hear this all the time. We're staying for the kids. We're keeping it together for the kids, right? You
Yeah,
hear it, but it's different to directly experience that. So, let me ask you, like, did
absolutely.
did that make you feel in some way like responsible for anything, or how did it make you feel when your dad said that to you? Do you remember?
Yeah, to be fair, I just wanted $10. So I I I didn't think anything of it.
Kids.
I was like, yo, whatever's happening with you and mom, y'all figure it out. Can I get my $10, please? Because I gotta go outside and do what I gotta do. But when I reflect back on it as an adult, in my marriage, in my then marriage, I understood. And so as I was going through my separation, my plea to my kid's mom was, hey, I do not want to be married anymore, but I'm open to staying married for the sake of the children. And I'm also open to God working a miracle in my heart to possibly revive some type of passion from me to you. Um, so I kind of borrowed from my dad, and I was pleading with my kid's mom, hey, I don't want a divorce. I mean, I don't want to be married. At the same time, I do not want to get a divorce. I want to let's figure this thing out between you two adults so that we could censor our kids, right? But
Hmm.
unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, and so it is what it is from that point.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
but let me say this though.
yeah.
Let me say this though. Now that I'm divorced, I am happy. I ain't gonna lie to you. No disrespect to my kid's mom. A great woman. We're cool to this day. We censor our kids. There's no beef with my kid's mom. Just in case he watches this.
Yeah.
My my happiness.
Yeah.
Listen to me. My happiness is about me. It's not about. I think I already just bombed it. But anyways, the point of the matter is I'm happy, and
That is
we
the
just
point of
censored the
the
kids.
matter. That is the point of the
Yeah.
matter. And I do think, that's it is like a noble thing that people say and they, feel strongly about, like we want to stay together for the kids. Like that is like very noble. It's very self-sacrificing, and that's what we do as parents for our kids is we make sacrifices all the time, whether it's that $10 that your dad give you probably had a use for that money too, but you give to your kids, you stay for your kids, like Yeah, I get that. And at the same time, for you to be able to say, but now I'm happy, that it makes me think of, in my marriage, which was about a 10-year marriage, I knew the moment, I knew 6 years in that it wasn't making sense. I felt a real deep, like, ugh, in my gut, like, oh no,
Yeah.
like, I always talk about getting the oh no's, but this is more than just like waking up the next morning like, oh no, this was like at the core of my being, a deep sadness and regret and fear of what was going to happen. So I remember like feeling that pretty early on, like 6 years in, and just having to process it. You might have that feeling, but I didn't want to make an impulsive decision. However,
Right.
I will say, when I did finally leave, the reason I finally left was I had this thought that my child was never going to know me. My child was never going to know me happy. I had that thought and I was just like, I can't do that. I need to have a real relationship with her where she knows who I am, not like
Hmm.
the person I was because I was trapped in a situation that was making me beyond unhappy. I'll say unhappy because that's an easy way to put it, an easy way to understand, but it was making me not myself in so many ways. And
Yeah.
I was never going to get to be myself in my situation. The risk of my child not knowing me happy was too much for me. That was my, I gotta go.
A lot of people caution me about that, right? Will your kids know you happy? And I had to sit with that, right? And I had to weigh that out. Like, okay, does it, which is better? My kids see me happy, divorced, or my kids see me miserable, staying married, like as a prison sentence? Um, and shout out to my kid's mom. Every time I would offer and say, "Hey, let's just stay married," she said, "No, I want a loving marriage," and rightfully
Mm.
so, right? I totally get that. And now that I look back at it, I'm happy. No disrespect to my kid's mom. Listen, we got no beef. I'm not trying to shit on you,
Yeah.
but
We're just,
I'm
just,
sure she's
just,
happy. I'm happy
yeah. This is just, yeah, the conversation. Definitely,
for
yeah.
sure.
And I get what you're saying because no matter what happened, there was a point where my ex-husband and I loved each other enough to get married. Like that was real too. So
Hmm.
like when I think of that, I use that memory to make sure I'm not doing things now, no matter how mad I get at him, to make sure I'm not doing things now that are just like awful or something. Like you have to
Yeah.
remember that there was love, there was a time, hopefully, for everyone. Now, we do have to say, like, if you're in a situation that is unsafe, that's a whole nother ball game, and we're not talking about that, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes, we will get into more of those things as we continue to meet and discuss these topics in this forum. And I just want people to know and understand that, like, I don't want it to sound like a platitude, or like I don't get it, that like sometimes it's not so easy, sometimes you can't just leave, sometimes you're
Yeah.
not safe.
Yeah.
So we always have to like make sure that we're taking those precautions, I think, with
Mhm.
ourselves, with other people that might overhear us, and also with our ex partners. Like, please, try to remember that seed. It might be just like a
Yeah.
size of a mustard seed, because things get really ugly in waves when you're getting a divorce, and there's paperwork and court cases and documents and lawyers and, all those kinds of things. And I think just that memory of, okay, there was a point. Can we just use a little bit of that to help us get through the places that are more difficult, and not just like have it so out for each other. Like, it's just, you don't want to get in a situation where you're trying to destroy somebody that you used to love.
Exactly. I think what you're saying, the is like the could be the crux of this conversation. I think that could be the quintessential point of this conversation. I think you're giving some hope right now. I think you're giving some real life gems. When you're going through a separation and divorce, do not forget the fact that you once loved or you loved this person. This person was good enough for you to say I do, right? And I think that if both parties, both or more parties, I don't have polygamous relationships, but if all parties of a marriage going through a separation and divorce can bring back those years of courting, dating, falling in love, and all that kind of stuff, to the present, as painful and as challenging as it might be, leave from that 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 starting point and allow that mutual respect, mutual love, and engagement to set the tone for what the divorce conversations and all the other ramifications that plays a part in divorce, um, and allow it to lead you all into a peaceful separation. I don't think divorce has to be dramatic. I don't think it has to be. Side note, we're not advocating for divorce, by the way. If you can work it out, right? But in the event that you can't work it out, the move then should be how can we separate in a peaceful, respectful, fair way? And I think a way to do that is to do exactly what Diana is saying, right? Remember that we once were in love. Remember the mutual respect that we shared, right? And again, every situation, every relationship is different. I'm talking about those couples, those relationships that it's not violent. I'm kind of struggling right here because I want to, every relationship is nuanced, right? So if there's a pathway to peace, opt in for that. It doesn't have
Hmm.
to be dramatic.
Or find someone who can help you, like this is one of Steven's gifts. I'm just talking to everyone out there right now. Is like, you can talk to somebody like Steven, to Steven exactly. You can check out our website, rosequartzdivorce.com,
Yeah,
and reach us, contact us through there. It's really important sometimes to get some kind of, I guess the word is mediation, but it's just like support and friendship, and a sounding board, and somebody to like a lot of people use like Chat GPT nowadays to like bounce things off of, but
yeah,
then Chat GPT has this way of kind of like, it's like the way it responds is like a platitude, like, you're doing great, this is really, like it'll always say, it'll always like sort of do that thing, and it's like, okay, well, at some point that feels good, and then you're like, wait a second, like I need a real take. I need a real sounding board,
for sure.
for this thing, and that's why there are so many people in the world and so many different kinds of people, is because you can't do everything yourself.
For
You
sure.
you can't like lift a pebble with one finger. You need a team. You need support. And I've had support. I've had, of course, Stephen. He's the best to talk to. And also like my practices. I've been able to. I treat yoga in a different way now. Like I don't,
Mm,
in this time of healing, it's not so much about going to classes, but more about stretching and breathing and moving things through my body at home, and when I can, how I can, for as long as I can. Whereas I used to do a very physical, like Ashtanga yoga practice, which is just very regimented. And it's like exactly this long and exactly at this time and exactly, like you really have to give your life to it and have nothing else going on in a lot of ways. Um, so, once things go off the rails, that can be hard. That can be, if,
Right.
I would even say like, if you're prioritizing something like, anything over your children or your household, your health and your own well-being, like that can be a slippery slope too, into just obsession or that place of not feeling like we were talking about. It's like, nope, nope, no, like slow down. Don't just, bang out your yoga practice and do every pose at the highest level. Like, how about slow down?
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
what you're feeling. Yeah. See what's actually going on. Maybe just lay there. But,
Hmm.
I've been very lucky to have those practices supporting me. And I think it's really important, and that's something that I aim to do in life is pay it forward. I've had support, and I think my function in life is to, well, just kind of be that wacky person that, but also, I'm very much into helping. I like, if there's something that needs to be done for someone, I want to be that person. I want to be, that person that helps out. So, we're here for everybody. And,
For sure.
everybody needs a team. You need, you
Yep.
need a whole team. And certainly at the more difficult junctures in life, if you don't already have that team, gather it. Really
Yeah.
important, you know.
For sure. And I kind of let me try to kind of go back to a few points that you made. We're divorced doulas, right? This is why we exist, right? As Diana mentioned,
Oh
reach
yeah,
out to
another
us,
good
right?
word, another borrowed word
Yeah.
from another country. Yes, I
Yeah.
forgot.
That's why we exist. Rose Quartz divorce doulas. This is why we. Oh, Rose Quartz. Yeah, divorce doulas. Yeah, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
That's why we exist. We to walk alongside folks in such a difficult season. And so, yeah, I also want to co-sign that Diana is. I could co-sign what Diana just said. Like she wants to help. I was in one of the most hardest seasons of my life last year as an entrepreneur, and Diana stepped in and saved the day. And I want to say thank you. And we're in so much a better place now. And so shout outs to Diana. So I want to co-sign
Yes.
you or co-sign in that. You said something else that I think was worth mentioning or highlighting. Yeah, we need to. We all need one another, right? We can't do this alone. We need people to listen well. This is what we do well. We like to listen to folks and hold space for people. We need folks to try to understand where we're coming from without judgment. And that's what we do as well, right? We listen to people. We try to understand their perspective, their viewpoints in the world without judgment. And we offer gentle questions or perspectives to help people think about their scenario in a broader way, right? And so I'm just really excited about this opportunity that we get to tag team on and share with other people. Oh, that's the other piece. Diane's my yoga. She's the one that certified me in yoga, so it's even a greater joy for me to share this space with her because she's my mentor, and so yeah, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait. This is so fun. We
It
got a
is.
lot of stuff to talk about.
It is such good stuff. And, Stephen and I have been talking about this for years now. Literally, I can't see anything with my glasses, just so but I can't wear them all the time because it's like hard on my eyes. So I have to like take them on and off. Anyway, so I have them back on now because I just wanted to like see your smiling face and say thank you so much, Stephen. And, like I said, like I was so thrilled to be able to support you because you have supported me and so many others. in so many ways too. So in addition to checking out our website, I want to just encourage people to look at the Yoga for Philly and Yoga for the World websites as well, and see all that Stephen has done. With
We
his with his certification in teaching yoga, and also with that kind of collided with the curriculum of the rest of his life of being an entrepreneur and developing and growing this nonprofit as you have over the last couple of years. It's been amazing to be part of. And I
thank
just want
you.
to encourage people to go over there and look at that too. I forgot we were doulas for a sec. What is wrong with me? Like my brain.
That's that's I'm your partner. I'm here to
I need
remind us of who
I
we are.
know. Like I was like the whole idea, and but like doulas really were. They're here to bridge the gap to it's like a rebirth when you're
Bridge
going
that gap.
through, yeah, that is like something like a divorce or an extreme breakup, or even just like losing a job that meant everything to you or was your identity. You might need some help getting through that for sure, but also it is a rebirth, and that's what we're here to tell you is like there's a lot, and there's grace, and there's support while you're going
Mm,
through it, and there's also on the other side a whole new, fresh, exciting, filled with joy and love life waiting for you. And I'm not saying it's
oh
perfect, and I'm,
man,
I'm still going through it, myself, but you really have to grab onto and know how to grab onto the micro joys that the day
for
might give
sure,
you, right? So that you can get through that like macro issue, right? And
for
it's just
sure.
like, yeah, you just gotta keep in every moment kind of reaching for those things. So as part of that, and forgive me for looking down at my phone with my glasses on, everybody, but as part of that, what we do towards the end of every one of these editions that we do. So my puppy Pepper is demanding my attention, by the way, here. Is I share with Stephen something that I have found and thought was interesting, sort of from pop culture. And this is something interesting I just want to throw out there and get your thoughts on, Stephen.
Okay,
Stephen never knows about what
here,
the topic is going to be
here we
ahead of
go.
time. So I got one for you. This is an easy one. I gotta give you
We'll
an
see.
easy one for our first YouTube here. Okay, so here's this study I found. A Stanford professor rewired feelings that people had for their exes, and it was, traumatic feelings, rewired feelings that people had for their exes in 12 minutes. It's a method that stops years of suffering. And all he did was had everyone bring a picture of their ex, or the person that was causing them pain and suffering in their minds, um, and look at that picture. And they just had to say, like, okay, what did this person add to my life? And they had to write down a certain number of those things. What did this person add to my life? And as you go along, like, okay, one thing, two things, three things, it would end up with this person that was causing you pain and suffering, um, that you really couldn't make that long of a list. And after seeing it, and you had to do this for 12 minutes, this process, okay, it started
Mhm,
to break the chain, right, that was linking you to this person.
mhm.
So maybe, a trauma bond, or whatever we want to call it. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that process of like, can we look at an ex, and maybe we're still stuck on the potential, and we're just seeing something that
Mm.
isn't there, or maybe never was there, or isn't there anymore. But what do you think about hearing about this study?
I think it's brilliant. I It reminds me of one of my therapeutic strategies whenever I'm speaking with a client that is going through a depressive state or is super negative for whatever reason. I'll invite them to take out a piece of paper and a pencil or writing utensil and jot down every little thing that pops up in your mind that you could be thankful for.
Mm.
and it I don't want to say it cures, but it really helps someone to see the brighter, more positive side of life. And so when we interact with each other, or when we're interacting with our exes, and we are reminded of the the pain, the trauma. I think it makes a lot of sense to say, okay, let me pause here. Let me compartmentalize this pain, this trauma, this feelings, and let me go back to the drawing board and start with what was good about this person in the first place. What value, as the professor offered, that this person gave me, or suggested that this person gave me. And you'll be surprised that it does reorient our perspective. Right? We as
Mhm.
humans can be very forgetful, and we need to remind ourselves of the positive, the good, not ignoring the real feelings, but putting a more balanced perspective of our view on the person, and and helping us be a little bit more fair.
Yeah, because I think even thinking about my ex, if I sat down and I had 12 minutes and had a picture of him and just, started writing the things that he added to my life, I'd be stuck at a certain point, like pretty quickly. And if I was still ruminating on that person, it would help me, yeah, like acknowledge there was good there, right? So we're not just like, it's, I think, unrealistic to just throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing, like our deep
Mhm.
down, we know there was good there. We know there was that mustard seed, maybe size,
Yeah, yeah.
piece of love, but it was there. We know that. So it's like a realistic reprogramming, I think, instead of like maybe writing all the things you hated about them or something, like that just kind
Mhm.
of keeps it all going, doesn't it?
Right,
Um,
right.
but to just write the things that like they were adding to your life. And then I think for me, I would get to the point where I'd be like, yeah, there was not that much. So, man, I'm not as upset as I thought I was, actually. Like, I was the one trad wifing. We'll have to talk about that another time.
Oh my God.
So,
That's hilarious.
oh, Stephen, well,
Oh
thank you so
man.
much for making time. I know you have a busy schedule and you're probably not even done with your workday yet. So thank you
I'm
for
not.
coming and chatting with me. I knew it. Yeah, with me and Pepper. And we'll all be back next week. So tune
Mhm.
in. We're going to shoot for this 8 o'clock time, I think, all the time, but we're at whatever time
Yeah.
zone you're in. Yeah, so bring your friends, bring a glass of wine, bring your questions. You can write to us,
Yes.
and you can also find us on our socials. Rose Quartz, Quartz, pod is our Instagram social. That's where we're most active right now. So
Mhm.
through the YouTube, of course, through the Instagram, you can find me at Diana the Huntress with 3 S's on Instagram as well. I'd love to hear from you all. It's been a pleasure and a joy to be here with
Love
you.
you. Love you too.
Love you more, Stephen.
Peace all.
All right.